Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, today we have Chris Briggs. He's the head men's basketball coach, Georgetown College. They are the Tigers. Buckle up. Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. Cascade Hoops Talk, produced in the shadow of the beautiful Cascade Mountains and bringing the world NAIA basketball. One podcast at a time. Hey, today we have Chris Briggs. He's head men's basketball coach, Georgetown College. He's, since 2011, one of the most successful programs in the country. He's won 80% of the time he stepped on the court, 90% of the time he stepped on the court at home. His worst seasons are 24 wins. Those are his bad years. I think he's had 2 of them, and not counting the COVID year, which, of course, we can't count. This guy just flat gets it done. He's a lot of fun to talk to. Let's listen to Chris Briggs, head men's basketball coach, Georgetown College. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, I got Chris Briggs on the phone. He's the head men's basketball coach, Georgetown College Tigers. Coach, it's always a pleasure to have you on. How you doing?
Doing great, my friend. Doing great. Always good to be with you.
We're gonna talk some basketball. You're gonna have one of your youngest teams you've had for a while. You and I were just talking about that. But before we do that, I just want to talk about, you've had just an unbelievable career. You went over to Georgetown in 2007. You took the head coaching job there in 2011. You've two national championships, a number of All-Americans. You've just accomplished so much in your career. When you look back, and you're still a young guy, but when you look back at what you've accomplished, you are, trust me. When you look back at what you've accomplished and what you're doing, what are the things that you are most proud of?
Just the experience we've had with our guys. Obviously, certainly proud of that. Proud of the tradition of Georgetown College. That was laid by Coach Bob Davis, Coach Jim Reed, Coach Happy Osborne. There's been 4 head coaches here since 1953, so I think that's a testament to the Georgetown campus and community. And just proud of the young men we've coached that have put in the hard work and come together as a team and continued that success that was, like I said, built a long time ago. And we're getting ready to have a golf outing this Friday, and we'll have a ton of former players back out on the golf course having fun, laughing, telling stories. And some of these stories are could absolutely be a TV comedy show. So it's just always fun to get around those guys and hear things from the past, and then get in here with our group in a new year here. It's early practice wise, but get in here with a new group and try to teach and convey those lessons on and off the court, with the classroom too, and doing things the right way off the court and taking care of business in the classroom, which we've had guys be very, very successful with that. But and just teaching them on the court and watching them work and gel and come together and put in that hard work to try to work towards that one common goal, which we talk about every year. It's that goal is to get to the end of it in Kansas City and go as far as we can.
You were talking about the long history of success over a number of coaches at Georgetown College, but in your tenure, you've had a couple of years where you won 24 games, and those are your bad years. The only year you didn't break 20 wins was COVID, which doesn't count.
Right.
You've won 80%, 8 out of 10 games that you've taken the court you've won, and at home 9 out of 10, and that's since 2011. That is a sustained success that I think it'd be hard to find anywhere across the NAIA. What do you attribute that to at Georgetown College?
That's a great question. Just kind of the things I just touched on, the tradition and the expectation that was built by those 3 guys before me. Coach Davis, he left Georgetown in 1973, I believe, for Auburn, became the head coach at Auburn, and Coach Reed took over and had Happy Osborne with him as a longtime assistant until Coach Reed unfortunately passed from lung cancer. And then Happy took over there in the late 90s, and, Coach Reed got into the title game with Jermaine Brown and some of those guys, and Happy took over and did a great job with them. And I was fortunate to learn from him under those 4 years I was his assistant, from 07 to 11 until he left for a Division I job with Coach Steve Payne, that was Happy's assistant on the '98 title team. So, again, just the relationships, the the hard work, the expectation. We talk about Tiger pride and having pride in what we do and how hard we work. And I tell the guys all the time. I think it's an old Larry Bird quote, something about if you work as hard as you can all the time, most of the time good things are going to happen for you. So I tell our guys, do the best you can in school, do the best you can in the community, do the best you can on the court, work hard, put in the work, be a good person. Good things happen to good people. And we've been fortunate to have a great group of young men over the years, going back all that time, but even here lately with guys that get in here and do things the right way and work hard and are coachable and are good teammates and obviously good players. I mean, it starts with talent, but you got to have all the intangibles as well as you and everyone knows. It can't just be talent. It's got to be a lot of chemistry, a lot of personalities, a lot of buying in to the philosophy, buying into what we want to do, how we want to play, how hard we got to work, how tough we got to be, and being brothers and holding each other accountable. And when things go bad, there's always going to be adversity. When things go bad, pick each other up, pick yourself up, and just keep on plugging, keep at it and stay at it. Don't give up and keep working hard. And, like I said, good things happen to good people who put into work. So it's just some of the things we talk about a lot, on a daily, weekly basis. Mm-hmm. And, it's always a process and it's a fun process, man. It's, when I get to sit down with you out there in Kansas City and down in the bottom of the hotel and do a quick interview before a big time national tournament game like we did last spring. I mean, that's what it's all about, just getting to that end goal and having a chance, just having a chance. And I tell people all the time, there's nothing like getting hot in a basketball tournament or on a dice table. So, it's just a thrilling experience and tons of fun.
I never thought anybody getting sent to the basement in Kansas City to talk to Billy D would be a good experience, but you're right. If you're in the basement in Kansas City talking to Billy D, it probably means good things are happening.
Hell yeah, it's the basement of the Crown Plaza. That's a nice hotel, brother.
It is, and they really do a good job there. Just another question. I know you want to talk basketball, but you've won a couple of national championship and you lost it in 2016. You lost the championship game. And I've always wondered, and I've talked to a lot of coaches about this, is it tougher to lose like in the final 16 or in that championship game? It seems to me when I look at it from afar, losing that championship game's got to be just brutal.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head there, especially the situation we were in. We hit a three with 4.4 seconds to take the lead. And, they did not have like the replay at the time. It was a botched situation. Like the clock didn't start. The guy caught the ball, turned to dribble. The ball was like either hitting the floor or coming off the floor. And the clock was still at 4.4. And, he goes down and throws in a shot. So that was tough, and that, there's still times to this day that comes up and, it haunts you. So definitely I'll take that second round exit every day of the week over losing a title game at a buzzer. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemies right there. That was tough. And, that team was crushed and it was probably the toughest situation, that I can think of other than, basketball wise, obviously different when, players lose family members off the floor stuff that pales in comparison to that. But basketball wise, toughest situation, we've dealt with. And then, that team absolutely deserved it. And somebody had to lose and it happened to be us that night. So that's just the way it goes, but was fortunate in 13 to get that one right there. The first one with a great team and got back and got redemption with some of those guys that were freshmen on that 16 team in the 19 season. And got that one done, and that one was super special. And both of those, I told them leave no doubt. And I think both of those were 20-plus points on the scoreboard at 20-plus point wins. So, but then again, in the COVID season when COVID canceled the world, we're sitting there 30-2 with a ton of guys back off that 19 team, and no tournament. That was tough as well. So that was hard pill to swallow. So, basketball is like life, ups and downs, and you celebrate the victories, and sometimes things aren't going to go your way, and that's just part of it. Pick yourself up and keep going.
Well, I didn't mean to bring up such a bad memory, but yeah, I appreciate your honest answer. Coach, we talked about you're going to be younger than you've been in the past. Having guys succeed is a double-edged sword anymore. Some guys have moved on to some greener pasture. Some guys have lost ran out their NAIA eligibility, but they had NC2A, and you and I, neither one of us can figure that out. But
2025, that's all you can say.
There you go, 2025. So, for whatever reason, you're kind of rolling it over this season. When you come into a season with a a lot of these guys have been around, but you've got a new key core group, I guess, to say.
Right.
Do you have a, is that first 2 weeks of practice different? Talk about, how that's different than coming in the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. We lost some guys, as you touched on. Tay Dozier and Jay Brown Spikes are two guys that graduated from Georgetown College in the business majors on the dean's list, academic All-Americans. So it's hard for me to sit here and say, Tay, why don't you stay and get a master's degree in teaching? All we have is teaching, education.
Right.
Why don't you stay and do that, or stay and get a second undergrad instead of go to Northern Kentucky and play Division I basketball and get an MBA in the Cincinnati area? I'd be foolish to try to convince him to not do that, and that was a great opportunity for him. And both of those guys, they said, Coach, if I get something good, I'll do it, but if not, I'll stay and figure it out. And both of them are going to get a master's in business. One in Cincinnati area, one in Nashville area. Jay Brown Spikes is down at Tennessee State. Another Dean's List guy, 3.8 academic All-American, going to have an MBA in the Nashville area. That's going to be life-changing for his career, after basketball, down the road. So proud of those guys. And then, touched on losing guys to Division I, with two of them going, one Charleston Southern and Georgia Southern, with that Vanderbilt quarterback suing rule and getting everybody another year. So it's kind of odd that they can play Division I, not NAIA, but certainly happy for them to get that experience, and both will finish their degree at those spots. So we did lose a lot, but back to your question on practice with new guys, it's the same. We start with the basics. Every year we start with the basics. Now when you have 8, 9, 10 new guys that haven't done it before, you're doing a lot more teaching. I went to an event last night, a Hall of Fame event for Tayshaun Prince, and my voice was all scratchy. And guys are like, "Yep, we can tell practice started. We can tell practice started, coach. Scratchy voice." So, talking a lot more, teaching a lot more. We've got a solid core of 5 or 6, 7 guys that have been here that can lead. So when we do put things in, we do talk about things, I can get those guys out on the court so the new guys can see it first. But we were able to grab, some high school kids that we would not have normally been able to get if not for Division I guys taking all the older guys and bypassing these high school guys. So we got a lot of good young talent. We brought in Rashad Bishop, who has been here at Georgetown, and I consider him a vet. He was here, and then gone for 1 year to D2 school and then came back. So he'll finish up his degree here. And
I saw you had him back on the lineup. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, be a good leader for us. He's doing great back at it. And, of course, Aiden Niken and Gavin Stevens have been here 3 years, so they're leading well. Scotty Browning's, Isaiah Mason, Owen Shee, guys that have been here. So they're leading these young guys. And got a couple other guys. Justice Small was at Marshalltown up in Iowa and was first team all Iowa region there at junior college. So he's a sophomore for us. So looking for good things from him. So you're right. It's a new group, a lot of new guys. It's early right now. So, when we're working on our press or we're working on our shell or we're putting in our offense, I'm doing a lot more teaching, but hey, that's good. That's what I signed up for. That's what we like to do, is teach these guys and, get some good veteran leadership and make sure these guys are listening. And, the one thing I get on them about is if I have to say the same thing, 3 times in a 10-minute span. You guys, if I'm talking to one of you, I'm talking to all of you. So, listen, I don't need this group to mess something up and the next group do the same thing because they're not paying attention. So, but they've been really good. And like I said, we've got good leadership so far out of our vets and, just excited about a lot of the young talent we have here.
I want to talk about the Mid-South, but before I do, let's go to your schedule a little bit.
Right.
The Mid-South is a little bit smaller, as everybody knows. You get a ton of non-conference games. You're going to start out with IU Southeast there at home. Everybody better get over and watch that game. That's going to be a good chance to see this new group of Tigers October 24th.
In a brand new gym too.
Yes.
Brand newly renovated Davis Reed Alumni Gym. It's looking great over there.
So talk a little bit about what you did to the gym.
Oh, new floor, new lighting. They took out the tile ceiling, brand new lighting, new HVAC, new floor, all new seating around.
Right. I didn't know that.
About $3.5 million renovation over there. It's a 100-year-old gym. So it was built in 1925. So we're right at 100 years. The last major renovation was 1983. We've done some touch-up stuff, but we're very fortunate. Mike Calhoun is a great alum that played here at Georgetown for Coach Reed, and he was able to go out and get a couple foundations on board and help us out with a lot of the financial part of it. So I keep telling him we got some trees in these little area outside of when you walk into the gym. I keep telling him we're gonna rip one of those trees out and put a statue of him there for getting this gym renovation done.
There you go.
But he's done a great job with that. So we're excited about that, newly renovated gym, and kind of right next door we got a rec center with a new wood floor, new lighting and everything in here where our offices are too. So got 2 spots right here to be able to practice both men's and women's team and volleyball, and added wrestling now and other cheers in here a lot. So two great facilities for all of our sports.
Wow, that's incredible. I didn't realize that. I appreciate you telling us all about that. So that will be a really good opportunity for the fans on October 24th. Get in there, see this new group of Tigers, see this new gym, because you're going to be gone for a little bit after that. You're gonna go and play Park, and then you're going to go to over to Missouri, and you're going to get tested pretty hard. You're going to play Peru State on November 1st and Arizona Christian. Boy, you're going to find out where you're at fast, aren't you, Coach?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And that's an invitational, the Remington Williams Memorial Invitational that Park is putting on with Coach Klein and Kristen Gillette out there, the AD and Coach Klein basketball coach. They've done a phenomenal job with that. Remington was a student manager, student assistant for us here at Georgetown. His ties to Georgetown go back to when I was an assistant for Coach Happy Osborne, and he was 9, 10, 11, 12 hanging out with us at the hotel. And
oh, really?
So they're very kind to do that invitational for him. He graduated here and finished law school at UMKC and was unfortunately killed by a drunk driver back in 2022. So that's an event that's near and dear to our hearts with the relationship with him, and just very, very fortunate that they put that on. And we're in the third or fourth year of this, and they want to make it as big as they can. They've put in so much work to it, so that's big time right there. We'll play Park and then Peru State, and then big time game right there with Arizona Christian on Sunday. So certainly looking forward to that, and certainly thankful for the great people over there at Park University for doing that.
Yeah. So just to be clear, over at Park, they sponsor that weekend, or they hold that weekend, and it's named the Remington Williams Memorial Invitation, and that's the young man you just spoke of, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is
He was from Kansas City. Grew up in Kansas City. Got to know us from being at the tournament, and came here to school. Was on our staff as a student. Was student body president. Was Mr. Georgetown. Was just a remarkable young man, and certainly missed by so many people.
Well, that's very, very nice they do that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, you're sure going to get tested that weekend as well. You got Peru State, Arizona Christian. That is going to be some quality basketball.
Absolutely. Some of these young guys will be thrown into the fire, so we'll certainly need our leadership, and certainly be a great weekend for us to find out. See some real deal basketball, like you said, right there on Halloween weekend, early in the season.
And of course, you really packed up your non-conference. LSU, Alexandria, Florida College is going to be a lot better this year. Mobile, Shawnee State. But I want to talk about the conference for a minute. So it's what is it? Is it 7 or 6? 7? You got 6?
We have 12 games, so 7 teams.
7 teams. Okay, 7 teams. But 7 teams, but you had 3 in Kansas City. Matt got there with Cumberland's, Freed Hardeman, and then you guys. So just talk about that conference and how how competitive that thing is, and the teams that we didn't mention, they're very good as well.
They're good, yeah. Their record may not show, but they're good. They're good and they're dangerous. So, Mid-South has always been a great league. Even when I came, Happy hired me in 2007, came into the league. Mid-South was a great league right there with the Sooner and at the time California, and trying to think who else at that time. Some of them, a lot of the leagues have changed, but always been a top league. And usually when we've been in the Final Four, I'd have to go back and look, but I know we've been in the Final Four, and Lindsey Wilson was in the Final Four the same year in 13. I believe Campbellsville was in the Final Four the same year in 16.
Wow.
19, I can't remember exactly, but Thomas More got in there. Shawnee State won a title. Freed Hardeman's won a title. So, Shawnee State and Thomas More have since left. But at that time, we were having 22 conference games, and it was absolutely murderer's row. There were 6 or 7 teams that could easily win in Kansas City. And, same thing now. We're down to 7 teams, but there's teams that even the bottom of the league is dangerous. You better be ready to play at whether you're at your place or on the road. So, always been a great league. Always been great coaches that get good players and a lot of good rivalries. It's unfortunate now that we're kind of down to 7 teams, having lost Pikeville a few years ago,
Yeah.
and as I touched on, lost Thomas More and lost Shawnee State, when they had gotten so good under Delano right there and won that title with EJ Onu. So we've lost some quality teams, but still a strong league, even though it's small. And teams are going to be well coached, teams are going to be disciplined, and teams are going to be dangerous. So that early non-conference schedule, like you touched on with Arizona Christian and LSU Alexandria, Florida College Mobile, those teams were playing down there in the show in Kingsport that Ken French does such a good job with.
He does a great
those
job.
will
Yep.
hopefully prepare us for the daunting Mid-South Conference.
Coach, before I let you go, what keys, you're coming in again with a new group. What do you believe are the keys for you to be able to be successful once again in that Mid-South?
Right, Billy D, we keep it simple, baby. You know me. Play defense.
I love that.
Play defense. I mean, this is not rocket science. This is basketball. Play defense. Don't let other teams get transition buckets, get easy shots. Make sure you're contesting shots. You got to play D. You got to dominate the glass. All right, you got to take care of that basketball and not turn it over, 15, 20, 25 times. Take care of the ball and get open shots. Don't take stupid shots. It's pretty simple. Play some D, rebound, take care of the ball, play unselfish, get good shots, execute and be smart, be disciplined, be tough. Now, that's a good, quick 45-second answer to that. And there's a whole lot that goes into that.
Absolutely.
That's the work behind the scenes. So
there
just
you go.
Stay on them, stay positive, push them, develop them into good young men. Make them develop their relationships with their teammates and others and be brothers and walk as one and look out for each other and have a lot of fun in the process doing it.
Well, that's just a little bit more complicated than what my mom used to tell me when I was a young man. I was super competitive, and when the local high school or somebody I followed would lose, I'd say, well, I just can't believe they lost, and she'd say the other team scored more points. It's as simple as that. And so
Yep.
she broke it down about as simple as could be. So, well, Coach, I love that though. Don't complicate it. Just do the basics and go win, right?
Absolutely. Find a way.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes. I hate to break you away. I hate to interrupt your meetings. How much time do you spend in meetings, Coach? It's brutal, isn't it?
As little as possible. But we, this is just a testament to Georgetown. We had an athletic head coaches meeting, and our President Rosemary Allen rolls in there with donuts and says, "Just want to tell y'all thank you for all you do and all you're doing.
Oh, that's
nice. To develop our student athletes and working on our campus," and showed up with a box of donuts. So that was big time of her right there. So just, again, Georgetown's a super special place, and we're all very fortunate to be a part of it. So just excited about the season to come and glad to be here. I appreciate you, Billy D. I always enjoy talking with you, and always a good time when we get to catch up.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate you giving me the time. We'll talk more after we start playing some basketball and you get going in that Mid-South, or get the season going. I'm going to be in Arizona. I'll see Arizona Christian about a week after you play them. I'm going to go down there for a tournament. Anyway, we'll catch up after the season starts.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Hey, that's Chris Briggs. He's the head men's basketball coach, Georgetown College. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Billy.
Hey, thank you so much to Chris Briggs and to Georgetown College. I hope you enjoyed that. He's always a great conversation. He gives you your money's worth, that's for sure. He's super excited. He's got a big challenge on his hands this season, but he's excited going in, and something tells me he's going to be successful again. Hey, this is Billy D. I really appreciate all this preseason support. If you have a coach, know a coach or you are a coach that wants to get on the show, all you have to do is send me a message. I have this vision. I want to get every coach in the country on the show this season. Help me make it happen. Go talk to your coach, have him get a hold of me. You get a hold of me. Some of these coaches are hard to get a hold of, so help me out. Anyway, this is Billy D, Cascade Hoops Talk. We'll talk soon. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.